Ready?
Okay, if you follow your procedure sheet, what it says is you plane it, you sand it. What I've clarified with a couple people thus far that are doing this, that no matter what, do not let this get any thinner than 3/4. You want to leave this as thick as possible, and that's why when you went through your steps, you didn't joint the face, you just jointed the edges. We good? Okay. Next, you planed it, you sanded it, you got it down to thickness. We're good there. The next step is you would joint an edge. You'd set this up to 16 1/16. You'd rip it. I believe you rip it. Okay, 16 1/16. Then what you do is you've got that one edge that's got saw marks on it now. You joint that off and you'll end up with exactly 16 wide. Now we got to cross cut this to length. What do we use to cross cut? What machine in here do we use to cross cut? Stop pointing and somebody tell me.
Miter saw.
Miter saw, thank you. How's this going to work on a miter saw? Why not? It's too wide. Good terminology, okay? Too wide. Not too long, not too thick, too wide. This is a maximum of about 14 inches, 13, 14 inches, give or take. Your cutting boards just barely made it on both of the miter saws. If you don't have a sliding miter saw, okay, if you got a miter saw that you use in your future employment or at home or whatever, and it doesn't slide like this one, usually those will cap out at about anywhere 6 to 8 inches wide, depending if you got an 8-inch, a 10-inch, or a 12-inch. With that said, Nathan, put it away. With that said, that's where a miter gauge comes in. You learned about this a long time ago when you learned about the safety on the table saw. And how this works is it goes in these grooves. That's why you see all these grooves on different machines in here, is they're miter gauge slots. So what you do is you set this to 0 degrees. Okay, your piece is going to sit like this. I'm not going to do it to this table saw, but sometimes it's helpful. Maybe I will, I don't know. But sometimes it's helpful to have a line here as an indicator of where that's going to cut. Because right now, remember, I'm only cross-cutting one end, okay? If you need to sit, sit, okay? And if you guys need to scoot back a little bit so that he can see, please do. But, thanks, Miles. But what you're doing is right now we're cross-cutting the better end, okay? We don't care which end is better, really, unless you have something like, I'm going to point out right here, I saw something. Right here, there's a crack. I want to cut as much of this crack off as I possibly can. So if I'm using this piece, I'm going to cut this end, and I only want to cut off just enough to square it up. Now that doesn't mean just shave it, but it means don't take a substantial amount. How much oversized is this right now? In theory, how much oversized is it? An inch it should be. You want 16 inches, and each of these pieces should have been cut to 17. So you're gonna go like this. You're gonna kind of line it up where you want, okay, get it in position, whatever. Set it up where you want, and I'm not going to cut, but I'm going to just kind of mimic it, and you go through like this. Take a look at where both of my hands are. One hand's right here on the other side of the miter gauge. The other hand stays on the miter gauge flat. The reason being is that's a little better than 4 inches away, okay, so it goes with the slip. But I got one hand right here, and one hand here. Notice how I'm not going here. The second I do, you can see what happens, right? So I want to make sure that I'm applying force that's directly across from each other here to keep it tight against my miter gauge. So if I let it float away from my miter gauge, I'm no longer pulling 90 degrees or it's flowing. So that's why it's important. So I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to run it through as nice and easy as I could and steady, and when I got to there, I can pull it back away and go back in there and get reset. I stop. The next step.
Does anybody have a pencil? Yep. Make sure I'm not shooting any nails.
Here's what's going to happen. You measure your length, you make a mark. I apologize that I don't have my piece ready to go to do this, but this will give you the same thing that what you're going to accomplish. So I'm going to kind of set that roughly where I want it. I'm going to set this back so that it's not hitting. I'm going to turn it on, get ready. The same operation with this as what it will be for you guys when you do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up so that I'm close to my line. I run it in a little bit to make sure that I'm where I want to be. I am where I want to be. And I'm just going to glide it through just like that. I pull it back. Again, turn it off. Wait for it to stop. What did you notice about me using this? Compared to every other time that you guys have used the miter saw thus far. What have you noticed? Or, I'm sorry, the table saw thus far. What did you notice with it? Okay, what did you notice, Lily? Okay. I did it by myself, right? I didn't wait for somebody to catch. I didn't need anybody to catch. Follow me? Was it unsafe? No. This is a one-person operation. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Questions? Anything? After you do that, you're going to route your top. After you do that, you're going to sand everything up to the point where, like sand it up to the point where you're ready for steam. On your top, begin on your base, and then the same procedure is going to be for your bottom shelf. Make it to exactly the size that it's supposed to be. Got it? Questions? Ready, set, go.